Hello there, welcome back to Minecraft. Last time, well, we basically set up our production system here. Got oxygen covered, and I basically have set up now, as you can see from the map here, a little bit of a production site for, well, hydrogen. I've also made 7 electrolytic separators. So they are basically done already. I showed you how to make them last time and how they work. So basically for our hydrogen powerhouse, the only thing we really need here is a hydrogen generator, and the hydrogen generators are kind of expensive. They're not cheap, let's just say that. First and foremost, we're going to want 8 of these, so we're going to make 8 electrolytic cores. Again, not cheap. I've used a little bit of time to make the ingredients. We're going to need 16 of these steel casings, 2 for each thingamajig here. And other than that, we need osmium and enriched alloy. But as you can see here, we actually do have the required resources to pull it off. Just going to get rid of those 2. And there we go. We have 8 hydrogen generators. And basically, I'm just going to show you how the powerhouse is actually set up down here. It's basically just your regular building. We have the electrolytic separators here. I've used the crescent hammer to turn them around so that the hydrogen output will be facing the hydrogen generators. We have a pump down there with a 3x3 water source, and it's plugged up by the same cables that will be running the electrolytic separators. What we really just have to do now is pounce down the hydrogen thingamajigs, and since they're already apparently, they're already actually producing power themselves for some weird reason, but that's fine. It means that I don't actually need power to start up, which is quite a wonderful achievement. But the main problem here is that the hydrogen generators themselves are going to produce, well, far more energy than this little pipe can produce. So what we're going to do now is, or the cable can only carry 200 RF a tick, and well, the output from the hydrogen gens are, well, not that I want to do, but it's 240 RF a tick. So basically, the reason why I have plugged up here now is just so they can actually, produce the required stuff themselves. Now, what we require is basically better stuff and better universal cables. And as you can see, we can use them to create advanced universal or elite. So advanced will take 800 RF, but we want the elite ones because they are far more effective, and they require a control circuit, which is a rich alloy. Basically, the only difference between these cables and these is that these are 4 times as effective and cost 4 redstones. Basically, it's a really cheap conversion rate per se, and definitely going to be using that to our advantage. And I think we might want to make some more basic cable too, just to get that out of the line. So do this, place redstone on either side. I'm actually going to use all of the enriched alloy here to turn into control circuits, and I almost have enough here to turn everything into elite universal cables, but we don't need a ton of them, so I'm only going to make 11 for now, use them later. What we are going to need to do though is actually make more, because I completely forgot about the ultimate energy cube, which I require, and it do require, well, as you might imagine, enriched alloy. So I'm just going to go ahead and produce that. I have everything else, so I'll produce that. I'll set up basically the last thing here, and hopefully it won't be too long before I have all the enriched alloy. The worst case scenario is actually that I'm kind of low on iron, so I might have to go and mine it up. But I didn't think, and I'm being made to pay for that. So that is my bad. But basically, we could also most likely just use a regular anti-cube for the time being. The only thing is, of course, that we're running back and forth between where we place the quarry and the power setup here. I might also just take 4 of the generators, since I don't actually have what I require. So I think what we're going to do here is build the quarry first. There we go. And we're actually just going to get the regular, because these things are kind of expensive to make. As you can see, we require 2 gold, 3 iron, and 2 diamond gear, as well as a diamond pickaxe. Now we already have 2 gold, we already have all the keys required. I could almost build, well, more stuff here. The only thing I require now is the diamond pick, and since I'm lazy, we're just going to do this, and there we go. We have our diamond pick, and am I missing something? I don't think I'm missing something. I might be missing something. I'm not missing something. I was just scared since it didn't actually work with the other system, and we also would like to have some buildcraft pipe. Basically to transport things into, I think we'll use chests, easy transport, and we also want a void pipe as well as diamond pipes, because of the simple fact that, let's see, we'll go with, what's the copper? So basically, as you can see, you use glass around basically the material you want to make it out of. I think we'll make some gold pipes too, because they actually speed things up, as you might imagine. As you can see here, speeds of items could be useful. I'm going to make some diamond pipes because they are made to, my bad. Then basically the way that you sort the items, I think we're actually going to go with 16 of them, just because we actually have a bit here. And we want a void pipe, which actually requires black dye, redstone, and glass. Now I should have something from the squid. There we go. Let's see, we require that. So there we go. We have a void pipe. Now the plan here for the first quarry is not to transport things. So we're basically going to, I think, take this diamond chest, create a couple of others to place at the end. We're going to discard anything that is not ores or potentially useful in the future. We can wind that up at a later date, more or less. So all that should be fairly settled. I'm also making some more seared bricks for the future, well, creation of the smeltery. But as I said here, we do have a little bit of too little enriched alloy to actually make the energy cubes here, because as you can see, each of these two requires 2 of them. So there's this here requires 8, basically 4, 12, 16. I can actually make a elite energy cube which can hold, I think, 12.8 million RF. So I think we're going to use that for the first year. I do have the control circuits already, so that's not actually an issue. So first we're actually going to run this of energy cubes. As I said, I could always just set up the system basically where we're going to use it, but I find that to be a little bit, well, annoying to move it every time. It's better to just set up a system with basically well, these things than anything else, I would like to think, at least. Now I am going to just go ahead quickly here and put these things together, but with an elite cube we should be fine. I might decide to upgrade it before we set up the quarry, or even start charging it, but we'll see. It's kind of a, well, to some degree, difficult choice to make, but well, I'll probably do that. I'll probably just go digging more or less and find the well, a little bit of iron required to actually make an ultimate cube, rather than the system we have now. And basically, the reason why this crafting table is so useful is that it can hold items even after you discard them. So the things that I require to now upgrade this to an ultimate energy cube is obsidian ingots. We have those. Energy tablets, that's for enriched iron, and then we need 4 for each of these two. So we need 20 more iron, and the osmium dust, the obsidian dust, and also the diamonds already have. I'm just going to go on a quick mining expedition here and get the last remaining items that we need. Well, unfortunately it did start to rain, which makes things a little bit noisier, but as you can see, the enriched alloy is under production. I have 1 iron diamond chest that we'll be using, and what we basically can do here while we wait is go over this. I basically set up myself a little farm here just for fun. This is basically the only reason why I set up the farm to begin with. The cotton. Cotton can be used to make into string, and string is, well, a couple of things. Among others, you can use it to make a backpack. 3 cotton equals 1 string, and instead of hunting down a tremendous amount of spiders, I can, for instance, do this instead. Unfortunately, damn, didn't actually despawn yet. I'm already been up here for quite a while. Basically, the string can be used to be made into a backpack, but it requires quite a bit. Now, the plan with these is basically to be able to transport all of the power in a, well, manner. And basically, all of the machines back there will not require anything more advanced than a basic cable, but we want to get all of the power out of these machines and into the, well, elite engine cube once we actually get going. But as you can see here, everything is powered, everything is working, and this thing has, well, it's actually losing a little bit of power now, but most of these already have maximum amount, which means that this thing is currently powering everything. Every single one of the machines back here on their own, and they're not losing anything. I might want to upgrade the well, system later on, but for now it's perfectly fine. Also going to need, I think, a couple of landmarks, which I believe are. Let's see, where did I find my sticks? I need that. Landmarks to basically decide the size of the quarry here. Yeah, I need to make first redstone torches. So then we'll make landmarks out of those. And basically, I just still need that one redstone torch because you just need 3 to mark the area. That should be perfectly fine. So do I have my rich alloy? I do. So now we can go ahead and make that energy cube, the ultimate one. First I need 4 of these. I was scared for a second there, but there we go. 4 of cores. We're going to do 2 of these, which we have more than enough to make. And now we should be able to make said item. Now this thing can actually hold about 50 million RF, 52 I believe. A little bit unsure just how much. Basically, it can hold a tremendous amount of energy, and such should be able to run the core for quite a while. If not, we will probably make another one. I'll probably go on a couple more mining expeditions on my own. Place this there. And as you can see, it's filling up with energy, 100,000 RF already. Of course, it's going to take a while to get this thing to 52 million RF, but you get my idea. It will happen. Just take a little while. Might build another row of hydrogen jennies to make that work. But basically, just want to set up a core now, allow it to run, which is going to take a while. I have been messing around a little bit with Ex Nihilo. I haven't actually gotten anything out of that yet, so I may sacrifice 2 diamonds to make that hammer. But what we want to do now is basically set course for the sea, because we're going to set up our quarry over the sea, and the reason for that is actually really simple. By setting up the quarry over the sea, we will, point 1, not have to bother with problems like lava. Lava will just turn into obsidian. Oil will still be an issue. Basically, the quarry will not accept any liquids, which makes it a little bit of a, well, awkward thing to mess around with. But even so, it should work to our, well, needs, more or less. Now, I'm just going to make the area where it's going to mine, and the way we're going to do this is basically by the use of these 2 landmarks and the redstone torch. Basically, this thing is going to show me just how far I can go in all, well, the different directions, because it will give basically a how should I put this? It will allow for 64 by 64. It will basically show 64 in each direction. The score will probably be a little bit smaller than 64 by 64. We'll probably be 64 out towards the sea, but we'll just go towards land on this side, and we'll leave it there. As you can see, we've already reached land, and I could probably just use this thing here to dig a little bit further in. It's not really a problem. And basically here we want to have a fairly decent sized quarry, but I will not be going out of my way to make it big. I'm probably going to use the same method that I did here to well, reach out to the end there. And once I've actually set up the area, I'll get back to you. There we go. As you can see, I basically set up the 3 markers, and if I do this, you get a red outline of the area that it will mine out. Now, I've decided to do a little bit of a, well, change to how I'm going to do this. Basically going to be using barrels among other things to help me out here. I'm going to just place the quarry down right here. It has to be placed at one of the corners if you want, well, basically everything up and running more or less perfectly. I'm going to use golden pipes here to basically speed things along every few well, lines more or less. Now the diamond pipes here are going to actually send items that I want to be sent down to, well, the right place more or less, and everything else is just going to go down into the diamond chest. I'm also going to place a void pipe or a diamond sorting pipe right here, and we're going to place the void pipe. Basically, I can place void pipes around the entire thing, and basically the items that I do not want this thing to drag up will be deleted, gotten rid of. So the plan here is to basically now should probably use upper space to make it easier. Basically, I'm going to take the resource that I'm bound to get a lot of, like cobble and like that, things that I might have used for later, and have them being sent down into barrels. I'm a little bit unsure if the barrel will actually take or send things down to a barrel beneath it. I doubt it, but we can always test it out. These bars are really simple to make. Actually, it's just regular wood, frame, slab on top, and a chest in the center. I have a ton of chests. We raided that from the dungeon. Now basically there's some resource that I kind of want to, well, spare, and that is cobble. As you can see, it's black here. That means that black will be filtered down into this chest, and basically I'll be taking some cobble down just because I can. I'll also be wanting sand. I think it's a useful material, mostly anyways, so might as well just do this. And this worst case scenario, I'll have to move it down by myself or change them barrels out every now and again. Should be fine. You can use on these kind of barrels, you can use the cardboard boxes to move them around, so it's not really an issue. Other things I might want is marble. It's a nice little building material, and I'm not going to get out of here, am I? There we go. Marble is going to be saved here. And again, there are ways to build the system so you can actually have barrels on, well, all sides. I'm a little bit unsure if these barrels will actually accept things or accept things from the bottom. If they do, we'll probably add a little row on the top for things like redstone, coal, basically things that we're bound to get a lot of. But yeah, I think we are more or less ready to start. The only thing we're really missing here is power, and then this thing will keep on working. Now, just to make sure that basically nothing goes down into the wrong place, I'm going to be placing stakes in these two places, and that will basically make sure that everything will go into this chest, same at this junction right here, just to make sure that we don't actually lose anything if we want. And this is basically the setup for a basic quarry. Once it gets power, it will start mining out everything down to bedrock, which will, well, basically be what we're after here, and hopefully work out as intended. Now, lastly, there's not really much else to do here. We do have stuff that we want, but in case I want to make any alterations, I think that the diamond chest here should be suited for holding, well, stuff that I can use to make the alterations. The landmarks is usually not lost, they pop up, but seeing as this is over, well, the ocean, it's quite likely to assume that, yeah, that the landmarks have basically sunk to the bottom, and the risk of suffocation for something that cost me two sticks, 2 redstone, 2 lapis, not something I want to do. Now, we have built the ultimate energy cube, we have the quarry, day 4 is basically set here. Next thing we're going to do is power this damn thing, and I'm a little bit unsure what else we want to do. I'll probably go on a mining expedition on my own while we wait for the quarry to work. I might go finish the last 2 towers of the Triton base. There's probably a lot of useful stuff there. But one thing that I definitely want to do, and one of the reasons why I want to go on a mining expedition on my own, is with the amount of resource that we're going to get up, the system here is not going to be able to, well, cope with that. And it's of course going to be an awkward scenario no matter how we look at it. What I might do is make either a pipeline from the power production facility over here, or I might just go ahead and place a ultimate energy cube down here, and basically use that as a way to power these things. We'll probably also, as I said, upgrade them to factories, so each machine will have 7 input slots and 7 output slots, basically having 7 of each. And if we take a quick look here, this thing has now 12 million RF, 12.8. We've actually filled up that elite cube already, so before next time I'll probably allow that thing to fill up. I'll be a little bit more, well, planning on what we're going to do. What I think we might actually focus on next time is actually some mobility by building a jetpack here. It's not expensive, it's 310, 2 steel, a control circuit, gas tank. Should probably built this ages ago, and we might actually go for upgrading it to a armored one right away. But we'll consider that next time. Feel free to come with input, suggestions, ideas, etc. The farm is going to be not really that useful for food, but the cotton is definitely going to come in handy because, as I said, backpack is one of the things that I want to build. You can also use electric chests, but I feel a lot more, better having a backpack than an electric chest to help me out. We might also look a little bit into Nelo because it will allow you to, for instance, use turn stone or basically a lot of useful stuff into useful things. You can use dirt to get seeds, etc. So there's a lot of potential there too for, well, to some degree abusing the system, but we'll consider that more in depth next time. I'll see you then. Bye.